Greetings to you all, and welcome back to Let's Play Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc with me, Atypical Omega.
If you vote for me, and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever.
You know, a more compelling reason for us not to vote for you would be if you're innocent. Because then, if we vote for you, we all die. But when you say it like that, it makes it sound like if we vote for you, then we get to live. Which means you're guilty.
Which is why I can't let that happen.
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
I do wish she'd be a bit more simplistic in her speaking.
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone.
Oh, fair enough.
This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap? We're this far into the game and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
Still think it's you, Byakuya.
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
I'm surprised Monokuma takes orders from you, Byakuya.
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
Of course she did.
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything.
Also, $10 million.
So she
Don't just
killed
forget about
her
those.
to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial. Something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
Lines like that never age well, especially coming out of your mouth.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Shut up, you. What are you doing?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Her raincoat.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
Oh, you want to pick a fight with me, Kyoko? I will have you executed by my minions. Do you understand? I'm not going to help her. Tarp would do it, I guess.
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick.
You, my little lady, did not take part in the investigation. How do you know there is a tarp in the shed?
You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water.
I thought you claim to me, privately, that you were exploring the second floor of the dormitory. How do you know there is a dirty tarp? I mean, you're right. The point you're making is correct. I still maintain the body could have been killed a long time ago and then just placed there at a convenient time.
In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water.
And I believe she said she was late to the meeting because she took some time to get up to speed on what was going on. I didn't interpret that as to run to the garden, to the crime scene, have a look around and collect all the evidence. In 10 minutes? When she didn't even hear the announcement?
The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
Doesn't prove a damn thing. It proves someone at some point used the tarp.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Good point. Byakuya's got my back. Also, he's guilty, so he's, he's happy to keep us fighting one another.
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Oi. What the devil do you think you're doing? I predicted this. I predicted a battle between me and Kyoko. I didn't expect it to come yet. I thought she was final boss. But alright. You want to throw down? Bring it.
Wait. Something's not right.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's not right. Kyoko suddenly started lying through her teeth.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
Okay.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side was the sprinkler got that side wet.
That seems fine.
The underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
Correct.
Because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
What are my
By
bullets?
covering the body with the tarp,
Body analysis, that's the bomb fragments. That doesn't matter, I don't think.
The reason the tarp was
When the
only
body
dirty
was
on one
found,
side
that doesn't matter.
was the sprinkler got that side wet.
Knife.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless.
So we've got
right?
body before and exploded body. What do these tell us? Not much. Body before? What's a knife? What does the knife say? No blood on the ground around the body, I guess. Okay, I mean, this whole thing doesn't make sense, because if you imagine this body is underneath a tarp and that's why it doesn't get wet, someone still needs to come here and remove the tarp, because the tarp wasn't over the body when we got here. The tarp would have to go over the knife, which is fine, that's possible. But there's no blood on the floor. If the tarp had... Okay, if you stab someone on the floor, like this, blood goes on the floor. The sprinklers then wash away the blood. But then the body would be wet. If you tarp the body, to stop the body getting wet, you've also tarped the blood on the floor, so it wouldn't wash away. So it's inconsistent. There should be blood on the body and not on the floor. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, obviously this whole thing is complete nonsense, because where did the tarp go? The accusation here is that I used the tarp to commit the murder so that the body wouldn't get wet, and then at some point after 7:30, even though I was with everyone, I snuck out somehow, took the tarp off the body and threw it in the shed. It doesn't make any sense. But I don't have a bullet that conveys that point, so I'm probably shooting this body before the explosion, which points out that there's no blood.
That side was protected from the water.
That's fine.
Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
That's fine. It didn't get dirty because it was facing down. Although it didn't have any blood on it. Would you get blood on it? You would. Because the tarp would go over the knife, which means the underside of the tarp would touch the blood stain. Okay, so I could shoot that as well.
The killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side.
And it was only dirty on one side, so I don't shoot that
sprinkler
either.
Got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp,
Okay.
it was
I think
totally spotless,
this is
right?
the point.
It's because that's something.
No, that's fine. It was protected from water.
Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it did.
But it should have got dirty from the blood. I mean, wait, that's wrong! Take that. Actually solved it.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it.
Agreed.
Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right?
Exactly.
Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
How much do you think I did in this mythical split second I had?
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Can you stop counteracting my points?
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
When did I do this?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
Probably the fridge with the blood in it.
They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office.
See, even Hero has figured this one
That's
out.
what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time.
Alright.
The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
Did they? No. No.
I got it!
No!
Could it have been chicken blood?
My precious fifth chicken. Okay, whoever did this is sick and twisted. I will execute you. I swear my life on it. I will avenge my chicken, bro.
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
He was lefty.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood?
I feel like we're getting a bit far-fetched here too, but
That's messed up.
just stay with it.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
Yeah.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
You look very smug right now. But may I counter your point? Kyoko was the only one smart enough to think of using chicken blood.
Perhaps.
Ah, Byakuya as well, actually.
There's one thing that still doesn't make sense.
I mean, Hero's in the clear, that much is for certain.
You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body.
I said this.
But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
I was having that thought. Except I was going to tell it in a more sarcastic fashion, where they put the coat on the chicken, and then stabbed the chicken through the coat.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
No, it was back to front.
I think so.
No, I think not.
Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Yes, it was just draped over the body.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping. What settles what?
Don't worry, Hina. Go get us some donuts. This one could
Here's
take a
what
while.
happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off. But the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body. The coat they've already covered in blood.
When is this mythical tarp collection time? It doesn't make sense. You have to collect the tarp after 7:30. But everyone was together at 7:30 until they found the body. Except for when Toko ran off. Toko! You're looking suspicious.
This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred.
Toko could have. Or Jill, if you prefer. It's possible, and the blood could be put there deliberately as a trigger. But then again, Toko only went there because Byakuya told her to. But then Toko would do something like that for Byakuya. She would... I can imagine Toko goes there because Byakuya told her. Toko sees the blood which has been deliberately placed there to trigger her. She changes into Jill, and Jill, who also desperately wants Byakuya's affection, hides the tarp as she's been told to do so in advance. They don't share memories. In order to assist Byakuya, and she's just helping him because, you know,
They wanted
she's sweet
us
on
to
him.
think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
And this way, Byakuya could be the murderer because the murder, as I've said all along, happened way before 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
Yes, I'm blaming you and Toko.
To pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
Yes.
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Yes, it would.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe. But still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
You're right, we did.
Oh no. I headed off to the gym.
What?
And Makoto didn't show up till later.
Hina, don't do this.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
I just got done justifying what your innocence and how it was all Byakuya, and you want to put yourself back in the frame like that? Alright, gloves off. I don't care anymore. I'm killing you whether you're innocent or not.
Saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
I mean, by the same logic, isn't Hina's also inadequate because she ran off? I suspect she's trying to entrap me because she's the killer. I suspect everyone, alright? You notice how in this trial I've so far accused literally everyone apart from Hiro, and the only justification I have for not suspecting Hiro is that he is too dumb to have come up with this scheme. And that is the only thing I'm certain about.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
You kill us all, you crazy fool.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Super duper serious?
Don't just stand there. Out with it.
Quiet, man, she's
You
remembering.
know that knife we found all black and burnt?
Let's not talk about the knife.
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right?
Yes, the one that was stolen from me. That one.
According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back.
Only a girl could possibly inflict a knife wound of that magnitude. Wouldn't you agree, everyone? Hiro, I'll start with you. You
So,
agree, don't you?
What about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before.
What are you talking about? That doesn't sound right. Maybe it was in the kitchen.
That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Yes, kitchen. Next to the donuts. You were the one that suggested I have it. I thought it was Byakuya who suggested I have it, but it wasn't, it was you. Did you frame me?
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
Guys, what part of I was asleep do you not understand?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
It's a pretty distinctive knife.
Yeah. Then why did you hide that fact?
I didn't think you were that dumb. I thought you could come to that conclusion by yourself.
It's not that I hid it. It's just...
Also, it is possible there are two knives that look alike. Generally speaking, most manufacturers of knives tend to create more than one knife. It helps their sales that way.
Suspicious. Very suspicious indeed.
Hero, don't do this. Look, guys, Hero suspects me. That's how you know I'm innocent.
The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto.
Makoto's drawer, not Makoto.
Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Who wants to be known as the person who sided with Hero? I'm going to enjoy this, Kyoko. I've been betrayed enough in this damn
The
game.
knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
You don't know that for sure.
It really is, isn't it?
You don't know.
I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
A lot of talk without many keywords here.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So
We
there's
don't know
no
that.
question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
I don't think we know that Muck died from a knife wound, do we? If you accept that the blood was from a chicken, then what happened? I stabbed them.
The knife we found lodged in the
I mean,
dead
it's
body.
possible, but they were dead before the blast. The victim had been stabbed a single time. It doesn't say died from the knife wound. It doesn't say there weren't other injuries. What are my bullets? Don't have the file.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
Oh dear.
It really is, isn't it?
Fragments near as the bomb, that's no use. Exploded body analysis.
If he did
Body
have that
before
knife
explosion.
before, then that seals it.
Disguised
Makoto
dead
did it.
body. What have we got? That doesn't seem useful at all. When the body was found. That doesn't seem relevant at all. Body before explosion. That doesn't seem particularly useful either. I think I'm raising the point that if I killed with the stab wound, then where's the blood? I think that's the point I'm raising, because that blood wasn't blood. Well, it was blood, but it wasn't human blood. That's my best guess, but I'm not confident on this.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her.
No, it's wrong. Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro.
I wanted to raise the concern that perhaps the stab wound wasn't what killed Muck, because we didn't know that fact for certain, and it wasn't stated in the file. It was stated that there was a stab wound. Apparently, I know, definitely, it wasn't what killed Muck. How do I know that? I don't know. We'll find out together, I guess, in the next episode. Hopefully you'll join me for that, and I shall see you then.